Next, we're going to talk about the copy tool up here on our modified tab on the modify panel. The easiest way to copy something is to just use your press and drag, and if you click on it and hold the control button on the keyboard, you can just kind of make copies. And if you continue, you can kind of keep making copies. As long as you keep your hand on the control button, you can keep going back to that original one and make lots of copies. Okay, I'm just going to delete all these guys. So that's one way of making kind of random copies, and you can do that in an elevation, a plan, floor plan, a 3D view, as you can see. So let's just go down to here. So if you want to copy something, it works very much like move. You can give the command first, or you can select the objects first. So I can, just use a selection method, and then I go up here and I say copy. Okay. Note right away constrain and now a new multiple option different from move. So if we say constrain, of course, it's like the ortho. It only goes orthogonally as you make copies. And all it does is make one copy, and then it stops and leaves the second one selected where you could say copy again and pick a point and copy it that way. If and it says moves with nearby elements, so that's just the tree itself is a property of that. It has that checked off. That is a different application. So as you copy objects, grab them, okay, and you say copy. If you say multiple, okay, regardless of whether it's constrained to the orthogonal or not, you can make multiple copies. And now the difference is you're able to pick a base point. Okay, I'll hit escape once. Okay, escape once stops the tool from working but leaves the last one selected. Okay, the second escape on the keyboard removes your selection set. So that's important to get used to. When you do that with a copy or a move, if you select objects and then you say copy, okay, first of all, you can pick a base point. You can set multiple or not. Always check your options bar. Constraining. Disjoin under these circumstances, it would disjoin. And then I can pick a base point, from there to, if I wanted to, I could go in here and go tab to pick a different surface. Okay. And then when I pick, it's going to interfere with that other wall. Perhaps click. It leaves that one selected. Okay. And then I can continue picking more base points, etc. If you hit escape once, it stops the copy tool but leaves this guy selected, at which point you could go in and potentially rotate it or something like that. And then I had to click out to stop it. So as long as it's still selected, you can move or edit it. And that's kind of a global thing that you just have to do with a lot of these objects. So copy, even if you don't say multiple, if you pick here from here to here, it leaves that last one selected. Then you can mirror it, or offset would restart your command, but you can continue to use those objects. So you just kind of have to understand the process of how that works while you're doing your copy, and then escaping. So multiple, you escape once to stop the copy and then twice to deselect your objects. Now, unlike the move tool, you can actually copy a window from one wall to the next. If you hover over here, remember, use your tab key if you have to select it. Pick on the window, you'll see all your properties, etc. And then what you can do is you can say copy, and then you can pick a base point somewhere, preferably somewhere inside the window. And then as you copy that down, you can go here. Now, look, I have my constraint turned on. Let's turn that off so I can move freely, and I don't want to use multiple. And watch what happens when I pick this wall. Pick, it adds it in there. Okay, now if I would have said multiple, okay, select that, multiple, then I could pick a base point here and do multiple copies. Oh, I'm back on the same wall. Notice it defaults to constraining. So I'm going to pick over here, click, puts it in there. Escape once stops the copy command, leaves this guy selected. I could actually delete it or do whatever I want, or I can go in here and pick a number and set this to be a certain number, or pick out, do that. Then I can look here and say, oh, that one went in the wrong way. I have to flip it. Pick on here and flip that one. So you can copy windows and doors that are hosted in walls from one to the next. Moving is different. You have to use the rehost tool. And let me just delete a few of these here. Another really quick way to create a window or copy one, and this would work for anything, is to use the create similar tool, which is probably second to my align tool as far as favorites go. So you can pick on a window or any object and then use this button, create similar, which I call the give me one of these, and it immediately grabs one of those objects and then off you go placing them. Okay. So it doesn't matter what you picked. Escape, escape. I could pick on a wall and say, give me one of these, and off I go drawing that type of wall with the same properties. Escape, pick, escape twice. Pick on here, give me one of these, bink, bink. Okay? You could, as soon as you select something, that automatically becomes available. It works differently if it's an in-place family or a group, but very, very handy. So that create similar is very much like copy. Okay, other than you don't get your base points. If you want to copy something specifically, you would go back to our floor, say edit boundary. For whatever reason, you pick on here and you say, I'm going to copy and leave it constrained, leave it multiple. Pick on here. You can read your numbers. Well, I want to, strip down the middle at 7 feet, and I want it 4 feet wide. Escape, escape. Then I just go in here and I do my split and I say delete inner segments, and then I get rid of these guys over here. So you can copy and everything in sketch mode. Escape, escape. You can also look at in sketch mode in a 3D view. We always look at it in a plan view, but you don't have to. You can work in any view you want. So then we say finish the sketch, and there we used our copy multiple to copy some sketch lines. The regular copy tool is great for copying objects all on the same level. When you want to start to copy objects to multiple levels going vertically, you have to realize everything is very much tied to levels. Everything in Revit is relative to a level, or else it's hosted by an object that's relative to the level. So when you want to copy objects up from level to level, if you try to kind of do an end run and you use a regular copy tool, you'll find you'll have some difficulty. So that's when we start to use our copy and paste tools and go from level to level, because the main system families like roofs and floors and walls and stairs and ramps, etc., are all tied heavily to the level. You can copy a window up. I can say copy this window and copy it up, over to here on this wall, and it's not a problem. And it's going from wall to wall. If I pick on this window, it's automatically moved itself to level 2, even though the original down here would have been on level 1. So that's okay. But if you try to copy this wall up vertically, you'll find that it won't work the way you want. That's when we use our copy and paste tools, and we'll be getting to that. So that's it for copying. I'm sure there's something in there that I've missed, but I'm sure we'll also cover it under future lessons.